Good. New setup,
New
kind of.
setup, sort of. We're working on it, but we're getting a little bit more comfortable with it. We got a sound sheet behind us, so the audio should sound even better. Not that I don't even know if that'll affect it. Probably not, but yeah. So howdy.
Sound engineer, sound slave behind the ones and twos here.
Yep.
Got my uncle doing the ones and twos.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that looks a lot better. This
Yeah.
is great. Sweet.
Yeah, we're whipping him, not really feeding him well. It's good.
Yeah,
Up just a little bit. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, he's Italian, so he works. They're good workers. They're not the best workers, but they work.
Yeah, Wops know what they're doing.
Dago vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't get over this. This looks great. But okay, we're gonna do a Pam.
Oh yes.
Pam-sode.
It's Pam time.
Pam.
Pamisode.
And okay, so
Okay,
I
so
don't-
we should probably get a little bit of background on who Pam is.
yeah, so I don't know how to explain someone like this to people who are normal and live normal lives with families. but so I think my mom started off cutting her hair for maybe a couple years or a year or something, and then just started coming around the house and I don't know, just sharing a love for
Wine.
abusing alcohol, I guess. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so then well, just to get a profile on the way she looks, I'll do it, and then you can chime in. So she's like 60. Well, she could be younger, but she just has that really leathery face look, like incredibly leather, like just disgustingly leathery face.
Yeah, she looks kind of like they've been using her as a football in the NFL since like the 70s, like for every game. That's kind of like what it looks like her face has been used as. Like it looks like her face belongs in the NFL Hall of Fame. Because of how much use it has been given. If you like pumped it full of like cocaine and I don't even know. I mean, I just know she got the jaw, that kind of the crackhead jaw,
Slack
that's kind of
jaw.
like, or they talk to you and they're like,
Just kind of
yeah,
has its
pal,"
own
you know,
mind of its own.
Yeah, the jaw is not really like the jaw is partying still, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Pamela, Pammy Lou.
I just put Audio Slave. I just put two. That you ever listen to Audio Slave?
Yeah. What is?
I think I was
Yeah.
like the dude from Rage Against the Machine.
Oh
yeah, did the
What's his
guitar?
name? Yeah.
Tom Morello,
Yeah.
the dude who like jerked off the guitar or whatever the fuck he would do that wasn't actually playing guitar, but
Yeah, he was just like
people,
big party animal.
He was just fucking hitting the guitar. But
Yeah.
Audio Slave. But now I got an Audio Slave uncle.
Yeah,
Uncle.
so yeah, he's our audio slave.
yeah, he's
uncle.
back there. Yeah.
So
So she's got a leathery face.
yes.
About 60 years old, but just very weathered from just many years of abusing alcohol and then a variety of drugs. And at the time when we met her, she was still living at her parents' house as a 60-year-old
Drug addict.
plus. Yeah, nobody knows how old she is. 60-year-old living with her parents in Lewiston, and
Like she's the type of person where she could be 40, not likely, but like obviously cigarettes happen and like drugs happen, but she's most likely, she looks like she's like 70, pushing like 75, but like her parents, I think her dad just died, but like her parents were still alive, and it's like, how are you like how are you not like a made up character in like a TV show? Like it's just ridiculous. Like I saw her, she's the type of person I saw drunk more than I saw sober.
easily. And maybe it's because I think she lived like a sheltered life when she was younger, and then she kind of just descended into being into like the depths of the bottle and whatever substance of her choice.
She had to get away from shelter, and really, I know a lot of people like that, where it's like they're like the type of people that go the craziest, like, you know,
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I almost kind of partook in that for a little bit, like where it's like if you went to Sunday school every week, You probably
You might be a
have.
It's like is that the John Foxworthy joke?
No,
you
I don't-
might be.
Oh yeah.
If you went to Sunday school,
I wasn't trying
you
to.
might be a drug addict.
Believe it or not, I wasn't trying to
Going Fox
rip
on
off
it.
Mr. Fox on,
Mr. Fox.
on the podcast.
What did the fox say? I was just thinking
Yeah.
about that today.
That's
that
a good song. That's a good song.
That was probably like middle school,
God, no,
But-
that wasn't middle school. That was
elementary school.
that was around the same time that Bobby Shmurda made his hits.
Well, they should have collaborated. That
I
way.
know.
Maybe it could have kept Bob out of jail.
Yeah. Poor Bob. Oh, poor Robert.
But so there's this alcoholic lady, and she's coming over the house occasionally. And then since she's getting so drunk and driving, she just decides to just start sleeping over. And then she just stays over my house for basically 3 years.
In a row.
And yeah, and at first she was kind of like performative. She's kind of like I don't know, she kind of likes to people please in a way, like she would. She would kind of show out for company whenever we'd have people over, and like
funny and like really like kind of social, but everyone was like kind of like she thought she was doing more than she would, like where she'd be like make a joke and like everyone kind of like sympathy laugh, but she was like, I killed it tonight. Like she would like after everyone left, she would be like, yeah, this is why you had me around, and everyone's like, okay, yeah. But like she was a fun time. I mean, like, and it's so funny because I realized that when like friends would come over, and like obviously Kyle saw it first, but I mean I was also over a lot for a while, and like at first it was like, oh, I like Pam's funny, she's a character, but then like we started going, fucking shut the fuck up anytime like she was around. Like I'd walk in and be like, shut it, stop. And like other people would, like, I mean I think Bob probably knows her the second best to me of your friends.
for sure.
Just because like Bob would come over a lot, and then probably like, you know, Matt maybe, but like yeah, I mean we would come over and she would just fucking like have like a cool story to tell me, but it was like only cool to her, and it was something I didn't give a fuck about, and it would go on for like 45 minutes.
Yep, and then fucking she would always have like she was always full of like these random like one-liners, like, she would always say to me, like, I would lasso the moon for you, but like she wouldn't like pay my mom for anything. She'd just kind of just hang out on the couch and just wouldn't really contribute. She just kind of drink all the wine.
Yeah.
But I mean, she wouldn't eat because she was an alcoholic. So
Yeah.
I mean, that was helpful. Her not eating much at all.
Yeah, she would just smoke a lot of cigarettes and
Yeah, she was.
drank a shit ton of wine.
Yep, she actually smoked Virginia Slims, which I didn't even know were a real thing until we met Pam. But so Pam was staying over. She just decided to just start sleeping at the house on the couch, and fucking she worked a job. She worked at the Red Cross in like West Seneca or some shit. So she would wake up early in the morning and go to work, and then we'd, you know, get a break from her. But then eventually she just started just drinking at night, and then just having that carry over till like the morning time, like 8 a.m. So so naturally she would just be calling off of work, and then eventually she just got fired. So then she was just a full-time alcoholic, like an in-house alcoholic at my house, and she wouldn't do anything else but just get drunk in my house, yeah, and then just cause a ruckus.
Yeah, and then
Oh, the shirt's fire.
thanks. Yeah, so she would literally cause problems, like it started like, you know, obviously as a joke, and then she would just like, once you're like not the fun alcoholic, it's not so like you realize that they're not the fun alcoholic, which I guess that's kind of a oxymoron to say. But once you realize someone's not the fun alcoholic when they start crying every single time you're around them, and that's, believe it or not, what Pam started to do. So like she would like, I mean, we would come back from the bar having a great night, and then she'd be like
she'd be like hunched over the kitchen table, just like crying, just like white knuckling a fucking Virginia Slim, and just like I don't even know,
And, like,
just lashing out to herself. Like
Yeah.
we'd see this.
Yeah, we would walk in, and then you know, she'd like,
She'd always be up at 4 a.m.
and like
3
this was
a.m.
when I would like sleep over Kyle's, and so she'd I have so many stories, but the one time we came in and Kyle was like, all right, I'm going to bed, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna sleep on the couch. Pam, I don't know where the fuck you're sleeping, but like fucking figure it out. And she was doing that. She was in the kitchen, and like she came up from upstairs or from downstairs. She came up and was like sitting on the ground, and she had like a giant glass of wine that she was spilling everywhere.
Yeah.
And fucking Virginia Slim, and she's like, can you come here? And I'm like, what? And she's like, tell me you care about me. And I'm like, I care about you. And she's like, tell me that I'm not worthless. And I like laughed. And then she like fucking, she yelled about something else. Yeah, that's all it is. And then went back downstairs, and I didn't see her again. And that was it. And that was just like, that was my experience of her for the night. But that's a tame story. That's like really like that's an entry level story of the things that she's done.
That's level 1. But so she descends down this alcoholic path worse than she was when she had a job. So then she's just like with everybody else, it's fun because they don't like, they're like, oh, Pam's fun, but then it's like I was like living with her, and then they're like, oh, I get it why you hate her now, and then it's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. But then even when they would just visit, they hated her too. So then it's like,
yeah, it got to the point where like even everyone that thought she was fun was like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. And then you just don't have any like respect or like any care, but just it's just like they would just start talking, then like you just walk away, or you're just like, yeah. But before
everyone did like even friends that are like really respectful to like elders and stuff, and I would say I always try to like make it like I'm like cool with everyone and like try to be like, I don't know, whatever. Even I was just like, all right, I would literally walk away, like I'm done, I can't fucking deal with you right now.
But so she would be just whatever the fuck, and then she'd get drunk, and then she would always like give people money too, but she wouldn't like contribute to the house. She would just like give money to like us for like alcohol or like anything or drugs or something, or just like try and like slip it under the table. And then she like put me in her will and took me out of her will probably like 3 different times, and I think I might still be a beneficiary to when she dies, so I might get like 10 grand or something.
That's nice.
But she would always tell me that, and I think she had 3 sons, and I guess they weren't happy when I was put on their mother's beneficiary list to take a cut of mama's honeypot,
mama's milk.
Yeah. And she has these kids. She's got like 3 sons, and I'm like, I wonder why I've never, like when I'm first meeting her, I'm like, I wonder why she doesn't talk to her sons, or why her sons don't call her more often. Then like you meet her or you're around her for a month, and you're like, oh, this makes sense why she has no family, and she's just like a vagrant.
Yeah. She said that like her sons and like everyone like hates her, and like that's like how she kind of introduced herself. You'd be like, oh, Pam, and you'd like give her a hug. She's like, yeah, no, I can't do a good voice right now. I'm gonna hurt my throat if I try to do that. It's like, yeah, no one likes me, and it's like, oh, okay, and then and yeah, so then eventually you started to learn her ways. But you obviously have like, I mean, what about that one time that she was like drunk in the morning?
I had one story that stuck out initially because this is like such a omnipresent person that it's like, okay, we wanted to like kind of think about it before we did it. Not really. So I wrote down a couple things, and the first thing that came to mind is we were in New York at your apartment, and then Pam and my mom and my mom they just wanted to go to New York. I guess Pam wanted to go on a vacation. She probably told my mom she would fund it and then didn't. But so they went on this. They were going to meet us in New York. We went, and then they were catching a bus like a day later. and they stayed at like some.
They stayed at like the YMCA.
Yeah, they stayed at like a
which I didn't know you could do.
Yeah, and I guess it's like $50 a night or something. So if you want to like share a bathroom with people and for a couple nights for cheap, $50, pretty good. And you get like a bunk bed or some
Yeah,
shit.
but you can get like an Airbnb for like $50.
Yeah,
a night.
exactly. You think fucking Pam drunk ass knows about a fucking Airbnb?
That's fair. That's fair.
But so they get a Greyhound bus, and I think I had printed out my mom's ticket, and Pam somehow got a ticket, and she lost it the morning of, and they were at the Buffalo airport trying to catch the Greyhound, and she just didn't have a ticket, and they somehow just got on the bus. Like they just kind of sweet talked this bus driver, I guess, to let them get one free ride to New York somehow.
Yeah.
So they're on this Greyhound, and then naturally they bring a box of wine on the Greyhound bus, which is pretty ballsy because the Buffalo to New York, it's always full, 100%
Yeah.
capacity, or it's just always 100% full. So they're just like drinking, not giving a fuck, and I'm assuming they're not hiding it at all. They don't give a
No,
fuck.
they don't give a fuck. They
Just
don't
cut-
understand. They don't comprehend that like other people don't do that.
And it doesn't even really, not like even like it really matters. I think we're just the pussies, but I think they
No,
I think
you're
they're
not allowed
living in I think they're living in reality
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
because we're scared of things. We're scared of getting kicked off the bus. They don't give a fuck.
We don't want to lose our money. We don't want to
Yeah.
get just stuck in Binghamton or
Yeah,
fucking wear a Utica. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It happens and they figure it out.
Get stuck in the urethra.
Yeah.
But so they're drinking on the bus, and I'm sure Pam's dumbass is telling like wise tales to these college students that are going from Buff State back to the Bronx or wherever the fuck they're from,
Trying
and
to
just
fucking just mind their own business.
yeah, and just trying to not fucking just mind your own business when you're on a Greyhound bus, because it's pretty much the worst thing ever.
Yeah, like it's hot. There's usually some sort of a smell. It's like you can't get comfortable enough to like take a nap even. It's bumpy as fuck. And it's just so crowded. It's not that bad, but
Yeah, it's actually not. Yeah.
but if you have
takes
two
a long
drunk
time.
old ladies talking loud as fuck and like that's actually that is one thing though, is just don't fuck it. Like you could like do anything, I don't care, but just don't fucking talk super loud. And if you're gonna talk for like 5 minutes and be done. Don't fucking talk the whole time, because I've had that, and I'm not even talking about them. I've had people where they like will talk the entire bus ride there, and I'm like, are you like there was this it was like I'm guessing they were on like a business trip, but it was like this guy, this woman, and then another woman, and they were sitting next to each other. Or they were sitting like one person was ahead of them, so they were all just talking about like work. But it was like a 4-hour conversation, and it was loud, and it was like in the middle of the night. I'm like, I'm trying to sleep, and it was just, don't do that. Don't be that person.
No, yeah. So I would assume that they were, at least Pam was definitely like talking some young buck's ear off, just wanting, and then I'm pretty sure she was like giving out money just to people on the bus somehow, even though at this time she was unemployed, and she'd gotten fired from the Red Cross, where she was just taking people's blood, but she had gotten fired, and then she's just living this existing in our house.
She wanted to be known as like a vagabond out of like a Bob Dylan song. Like that was her whole MO, was like she thought she was a gypsy or like some sort of hippie woman, but like
just an alcohol,
no,
just a burnout.
Just a burnout from like a she looks like she looks like as a kid she was on like a milk carton, like she went missing, and they're like,
'cause her parents fucking dropped her off somewhere.
yeah, they like just let her like go, and
Just a feral
yeah,
person.
she just lived in the woods for like, and she doesn't know how to act, but like whenever she's around alcohol, she's obsessive about it.
So they're taking this bus to New York, which is, I don't know, it's like usually like a 9 or 10 hour bus ride. And so they get there, and then I don't know what the fuck they do, but then eventually I meet up with them at this, like, Pam like wants to, cause she's from Lewiston, so she like, everybody there, they imagine that they're like high class, or at least Pam in particular, she wanted to be high class and like highbrow. She wanted to live a highbrow lifestyle, but she was just an alcoholic, vagrant, feral person. But in her mind, I know she pictured herself like wearing pearls and like a long gown, and that's what she wanted to do her whole life, but it just never materialized just because she's a piece of shit.
She pictures herself like out of like the 1920s, like she had like a fucking like one of those really long,
Like a Vanderbilt or something.
yeah, cigarettes with like the hair thing in, and she's like out of the 20s, just fucking like lounging on like something with like a martini in her hand, and that's how
spider.
yeah, she definitely, and she would talk about that too. That's the reason we're not just making that up. Like she would say like because I was gonna say yeah, can I go there? Like she would. Anyways, you could just
What?
go on. I was gonna say that how she would go to things and then she'd come back crying because she said they kicked me out. Like she's like, I deserve to be there. And we were like,
Oh,
what?
I'm gonna get
okay,
to
yeah.
even after this though. That's a good one. That what you're gonna say, but So we're in New York, and she wanted to take us out to some highbrow. She wanted to do like some kind of fine dining steakhouse experience. So we're in Manhattan, like right wherever, just like in the most touristy section. So we go to this shitty, like imaginary fine dining steakhouse. I think it's called like Uncle Jack's or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck
it is. It's Uncle Joe. That's like right by my apartment.
Yeah. So just like super. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's real or not, or if it's just like tourist trap.
I mean, it's definitely not like luxury, but it's dated. I think it's like in the 80s that would have been luxury, but it's
Okay.
pretty like kind of run down. It's like really kitsch.
Yeah.
But
So we go there, and Pam orders a bone-in ribeye like steak, and and she gets the steak, and like she's like, there's in like her raspy drunk. She's already drunk. It's probably 5:00, which is probably late. Yeah, she's like, there's a bone. Like there's a bone in here. I'm not a dog. Like, go take this bone out. She says this to the waiter who's wearing a full tuxedo, and she's wearing sweatpants and a hoodie, and she's fucking blackout drunk, trying to tell this waiter that she's not a dog
yeah,
or like that low grade of a human.
yeah.
And like I'm pretty sure he like does it. This poor fucking he was like 50 and he's like a waiter. Like he probably wanted to fucking kill himself. And then you got this fucking piece of shit whore fucking telling you that your steak sucks cock. So
That's
it's
such a
just-
funny thing to say though. That she said, "Oh, what am I, a dog?"
yeah, like she probably heard that in like a movie, or she had somebody probably say that to her when she was younger at like working at a restaurant or some bullshit. I would imagine she
Yeah.
got that from somewhere, because I feel like everything she just hijacked her whole personality from like people who are actually better than her that she just wanted to be,
Yeah.
but they could never achieve it.
And when you picture her voice, picture like that character from like Monsters Inc. where she's like, Mike Wazowski, you forgot to turn in your paperwork last night. And that's like her. I mean, everyone knows a smoker, but hers is like really like fucking like beat up track record fucking.
But it was her voice was it was losing gas though. It didn't have any power behind it, but it was still like that, and she
Yeah.
kind of like gasping for air as she would talk
Yeah.
every time. But so we went out to dinner there, and then she fucking, I don't know what the fuck she did to the waiter. She was probably trying to fuck him too and tell him, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then we left, and I think they tried to get a taxi, and then they were like, they just couldn't communicate with the taxi driver, and then so they got the ride, and then they just got out and just like didn't pay for it. And then they were just walking, and then my mom and her were like arguing as they always did, like some kind of old like lesbian couple. And
You know,
I
all
think
the
they
lesbian
parted.
couples.
Yeah, they parted separate ways. And then they just they were arguing, and then they just went separate ways in New York. But I don't know. I think before that we were trying to go to like. She always had these things, like she always wanted to do specific things. She's like, I want to go to St. Patrick's Cathedral, or I
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
go to Letchworth in the fall time, or it's like she always had these.
It's like, we need to do this now.
It's like you need to fucking
She's like-
stop drinking at
Yeah.
fucking. You need to fucking
But
talk
she's
to your
like, if
family.
we don't, she was like, Kristen, we gotta go to, we gotta go to Staten Island for a weenie. I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
what?
Exactly.
The fuck you talking about?
You need to
You
go
got a
to
hot
your-
dog anywhere.
You need to go to your parents' house and
Yeah.
mend your fucking relationship.
Yeah.
Before
You need to fucking
your
go to
father
AA,
died.
you fucking idiot.
you fucking cunt. But so then they do that, and then that's pretty much. Then they went home, and then that was it. But
Well,
as you were
luckily
saying,
though, they did. They cleaned my entire apartment.
no, they gave us the steak,
Ah.
and then we had it with like rice. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
she
forgot
didn't
about
even she didn't even eat. Like they don't.
Yeah.
She didn't care to eat. She just wanted to order it.
Was Bob there? Was
I
I,
think
working,
Pete was
or was
there.
that the same time when I was at work and you brought me a bottle of vodka? Talking about her being an alcoholic.
Yeah, yeah. I think that was the same time.
I used
We
to
could talk about
I
that.
used to work at a place in Times Square called Super Dry, and like I don't care. I'm not gonna work there again. I don't
No,
care
yeah.
about my fucking future employments. Just kidding.
It's already we're
But I
already
won't-
25 minutes.
Yeah,
in. We're in the deep water.
Yeah, Kyle would, well, if I didn't, so I would drink an entire flask of like 100 proof vodka and get like blackout where I couldn't see, and then just go work an 8-hour shift. And there was one time, and it was like during my one finals that wasn't as serious, but it was kind of serious. Kyle was staying with me, and he brought me a flask of 100 proof. So then I finished a second one 4 hours in, and then just blacked out at work, like left work, just like didn't even like I clocked out like without like I just snuck away, and then like it was like I had like an hour and a half left in my shift, and I like couldn't even like see straight, and so I just fucking clocked out
Mentally
just-
and on the clock.
yeah, and just like left, and then I didn't hear anything about it. I like went to my shift the next time just fucking in fear. I was like, oh shit, they're gonna know, they're gonna see me on camera fucking walking into shit and like fucking stumbling over, and believe it or not, yeah, no, I didn't even hear anything about it.
Yeah, so you can go to prior to common knowledge, you can go to work drunk. And,
Yeah, moral of the story.
and it would probably made the shift go by. You didn't even remember your shift. It went by so quick.
yeah, it was a good shift. I was like,
helping out a lot. He was this
Yeah.
top selling
I
manager.
did. I actually, okay. Speaking of that job, I'm sorry. This is the Pam episode, but I have a funny story about that.
Fuck her.
Yeah, fuck that bitch. We ain't giving her a full episode. She'll get a good, like, she'll get a 75% of the
Easy.
episode. So we'll get back to Pam in a second. But I went in, and they like did like a meeting before like we would go out on the floor, and they were like talking about like the top salesmen and stuff. And
It's like, listen, you can't
then-
keep drinking vodka
Well, they did-
before your shift.
I only told one of my coworkers there that I was like pretty fucking drunk all the time, and he's like, "What?" And I was like, "I'm drunk, you idiot. What are you talking about?" Like I fucking had the flask in my fucking book bag and shit, and just would go in and sip on it. Like it was real alcoholic vibes. Anyways, so another time, like whenever I was like sober, I just didn't, I just didn't care. Like that job was the fucking worst. That was like literally, and like I wasn't getting whatever commission pay or whatever it's called. Like I wasn't making money if I made more sales. So like there was no incentive to actually sell other than just being a good person, which I mean I'm not.
Fuck that.
And so I would I remember the one time I went in and they were like doing like the meeting before, and they were like, "Hey, you need to try." And I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, you were terrible at sales." And I'm like, "Oh shit, okay, sorry." So then another shift, it was like I think a week or two later, my manager, like it was like the same manager, called me over. He's like, "Okay, you know that our top salesman today that started at the same time as you today made $4,000 today, right?" And I'm like, "Oh, cool, yeah." You made the least, and I'm like, "Oh, sick. That's not sick. That sucks." And he's like, "Well, the person above you made $1,500." And I was like, "Okay, how much did I make?" It's like $45. I was like, he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like your entire shift. Like, do we have to look at the cameras? And I'm like, no. I walk up to people and I go like, hey, like, do you guys need any help? And they're always like, no. And I'm like, okay. Like, I'm not gonna fucking pester the people. That's why I'm a bad salesman. It's because like all of my coworkers would be like, no, you should check out this section. And like, my name is blah blah blah. Like, you know, they were really cutthroat, but I didn't give a fuck because I wasn't making extra money off of it, and I was usually probably drunk. But when I did drink, my god, they were like, the manager was like, what did you do different today? You did really good. And I was like, I just don't like. I mean, I think me sober, I'm just worried about like annoying people. So like I don't try with that, and like I'm usually thinking about other things, but when I'm drunk, like I'm like, yeah, I got this, fucking watch me sell shit. And I'm just really obnoxious. Anyways, so that job was the worst.
But I think back to that story of when I brought you the vodka. I think I brought you vodka, and then I had like a beer of some sorts, and I think where we sat and like drank, I think it was near where we had that hotel that we just went to.
No,
I think
it wasn't
in that area. No, but we were sitting in front of a hotel. I'm pretty sure
we were, but no, because
it wasn't in the same area.
No, that hotel that we stayed at was right by FIT. We were way up. We were like 20, we were like 20 blocks up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that would have been funny though. That would have been like a weird, like in a movie or something.
No, but I think we did pass it though. We passed it, and I think it was the same place when we were going. Why were we going over there?
Foreshadowing.
Anyways, anywho, back to the Pam episode.
So where could we?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay. Well, fuck. I was thinking about something earlier when we were talking too. Well, I mean, she was just drunk all the time. There was one time.
The time when I went to bed, and then did she follow? She followed you somewhere?
So we came back because like I said earlier, I like would sleep over Kyle's all the time. Now I just sleep at Tanner's because it started because Pam was always fucking there. But anyways, Pam, I came back and I was like I was tired, but I mean I was still like kind of like energized, so I was like just playing a game on my phone, and then she came upstairs like from being like a basement dweller, and she was just fucking like wired, and I was like, what the fuck is good with you? She's like, oh, do you want to do some blow? And I'm like, no, like what? No, I'm fucking not. No, what? I'm playing Madden on my phone. Like, leave me alone. Fucking shut up. And she was like really, really drunk, obviously, and that seems so silly to even say. Like, she was really drunk.
Yeah, but redundant.
Yeah, so
she existed, so therefore.
Yeah, exactly. So it would actually be news if she wasn't drunk. But anyways, so she comes and sits on the couch. She's like fucking like almost like just like blah 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 blah, because she already talked like a mile a minute, but then fucking add cocaine to it, and she's blah 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 blah, and I was like, Jesus Christ. So or more like, and so anyways, I like went downstairs where they had a couch. I don't know if you guys still have the couch on there, but I went and I was like sleeping down there for a bit, and so fucking like turn off the lights, and I'm like laying in bed like about to go to sleep, and then she fucking the lights turn on, and just like I hear her coming down the stairs, and like, God fucking
creaking
damn,
down the stairs,
spilling her wine, coming down and
just
shit.
falls face first down the stairs,
just like, and I'm like, oh, God. She's
shit,
like,
my bad.
There you are. And I'm like, oh God,
face first.
Fucking yeah. So she comes down, she fucking lays out like lines, and she's fucking doing coke right in front of me, and then she was like, you know that I like younger men, and I was like, oh really? Gross.
Interesting. Yeah.
Gross.
Go on.
And so I was like, oh cool. That's what are you gonna fucking
like
say?
Old
I don't
fucking
yeah.
weathered
and she's like, you know, I used to be known for like my blowjobs, and I was like,
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
And she had we forgot to mention this part. She didn't have teeth. She had fake teeth.
Yeah.
So it was the gum job.
Yeah, gum.
That's what
It
she was
gummy.
known for. The gum.
I was like,
I knew I was missing some descriptive character development.
And I literally just like, get the fuck away from me, and she like fucking cried and went upstairs. Like,
What?
yeah, it wasn't even like
we were
that.
doing
She was
good
like,
together.
So you think I'm weird? And I'm like, fucking yeah, get the fuck away from me. So she goes upstairs, and that was the end of that. And then I fucking told Kyle, and Kyle reported me to the feds. And I had to deal with it when I came back over. I hoped I could just like come back.
You
And
didn't want. Usually you doing nothing.
I'm like, oh, fuck. All the time. It was just. She always said how.
Yeah, she would always repeat. She would always say the same shit over and over again. Always.
Oh yeah. Always.
Just the same shit.
Yeah, and she so like she would like we'd come over and she would like tell us about like paintings and stuff, how we have to like we had to see her dad's paintings, and like we never did actually, but she's like, before he dies you gotta go and meet him. It's like I have no interest in that.
And
at
just
all.
with those things, you're just like, yeah, let's do that. And then you're just like, okay,
Yeah.
what are we gonna do? Yeah, we're like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Pam.
it's like we're like getting ready to do something, and
like,
she's
yeah, sure, Pam, yeah.
That's the thing too, is like we didn't come here to hang out. Like we're usually like getting ready to do something, like record music or whatever, and she's like fucking following us to like the ends
Literally.
of the earth to try and fucking get her point
Would
across that
follow us
like
around.
it's like shut the fuck up. She'd come up here and she's like, yeah, you guys like me, right? And I was like, what? Get the fuck out of here. And so yeah, that's why it started getting like just annoying and like aggressive. But so you got to give a little bit of your take on like how things started to transpire.
Okay, next chapter, the end, the ending. This is the end. So it was, I think it was February of, I don't know. It was cold outside, February.
Yeah.
She'd kind of been being more distant, but then she would be back for a time.
Yeah.
And so one time the house was empty. I was going to hang out with Matt and Justin, and they were picking me up. And as I was leaving, Pam was headed in.
Uh-oh.
And at this point, it had already been enough time between us where I shouldn't have let her in because she was kind of over with. Let her in for some reason, and then I go hang out with fucking Matt and Justin at their studio, just doing whatever. And then my mom calls me and says that fucking they got into an argument, and then they were physically fighting with each other. And then my mom ended up like slamming her through the coffee table in the entrance, just like hallway, and like broke a lamp, broke a bunch of shit. And then my mom said she like had her head like was like holding it and was like shaking so much like she was gonna like slam her fucking head on the ground a bunch of times. And then she's like, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And then
She's probably like, what are you doing,
no,
Mary?
yeah. So then my mom just threw her outside and called the cops, and the cops picked her up, scooped her up, and then I think she left her car was still out front of the house. I don't know if it got towed or it somehow disappeared.
She probably just came and got it, right? I thought she came and got it and said to your mom like, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I don't even think she said. She's one of those people who just doesn't say sorry for things.
Yeah.
Just like kind of just like shakes it off.
Yeah, it just keeps moving.
But just divide and conquer.
Yeah.
So she did that, and then just disappeared. And then she's still around. She was in the shadows. We would, see glimpses of her. I think.
What about her?
I think she fucked. She fucked one.
say,
She got
her
her
new
hand.
fling.
She got her hands on a young buck, and
He was
think
he's like Puerto Rican. He
Yeah.
like he wasn't even like from this area. He came over from Puerto Rico, I thought, or something. Or
yeah,
maybe-
on a visa, and
yeah.
this is actually leads me back. So she did have a husband. I'm pretty sure he was Puerto Rican as well. So this is foreshadows, and he was like a chef or something. So that's why she had all this weird fine dining bullshit knowledge. But so she gets her hands on this young buck of her fantasy. That is like one of my mom's friends' sons. I think he's a little. I don't know if he's older than us or not, but it's just and then so she ends up fucking this kid, and then the kid gives the kid a fucking STD.
She gave him an STD.
Yeah.
Oh, which one?
Oh, I don't even know. I don't
Not that
I don't think it's
know if I
AIDS.
need to-
maybe. I don't know.
That should be like the title of her
I don't
her
think it's
episode.
AIDS.
I don't think it's AIDS.
Yeah, that's a good one. Actually, that's good. That's
her
good.
memoir.
I don't think it's AIDS.
Yeah.
That is perfect.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. And then the last thing I heard from her before she moved to Las Vegas to try and rekindle her.
Oh, she's in Las Vegas?
Maybe, I don't know. She could have just
been fucking talking out her
maybe
ass
she's
the whole
actually
time.
just down the road still. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll see this. No, I doubt that.
No. No.
But so her father, no surprise, had cancer. He died, and we never got to meet him.
Yeah.
Big shock, and which could have been a nice guy, but he's
He's definitely probably a bit more put together than she was. But I mean, he also had like dementia, I thought.
I'd hope so. Yeah, so we could have just told him that we met him.
Yeah.
So he died, and when you die, you have a funeral, and I didn't fucking go to that shit. Obviously, we weren't talking to Pam at this time, but
That would have
Pam.
been a shit show going there. She'd probably. Yeah.
But so Pam goes to his funeral, and she gets kicked out of her own father's funeral
I didn't know that.
for being
Drunk.
drunk. Yeah, exactly. That the story writes itself, and that's pretty much the last thing I've heard from her. And she's probably dead, and that would probably be
Is her
cool.
mom still alive? Her mom's still alive, right?
Yeah, her mom's a cunt too.
Oh, well, hey, there it is. There you
Yeah.
go. And there you go.
That's
The story of Pam.
Yeah,
there's a lot more details that we like could have touched on. Like, for example, Paul wanting our friend
no.
Paul
Yeah, I was
wanted
just gonna
to
say that. Yeah.
fucking have intercourse with her. which
No,
was-
Paul wanted to fuck her dad. He was.
yeah.
We would always just sit on the porch and just get blackout drunk, and then she would always try and like peek her nose out the window and like
Her little
fucking
beak.
try and sniff what we're up to.
Her little
And
rat fucking
we'd just be
nose.
like, no, like Pam, get the fuck out of here. Like we told you, no.
Yeah.
It's like a dog. It's like no,
no,
Yeah,
get back in there.
Put your nose
Yeah. He'd like
And-
stuff her
yeah.
fucking face back in there.
in. Fucking.
But anytime she did come out, everyone was really, really fucking mean to her. And like at first, like I'm telling you, at first it was like everyone felt really bad, but she was an awful person. Like that just wouldn't leave us alone. So it got to the point where it's just like, okay, we could literally say the meanest shit to this person. And,
no,
I
because
mean,
she was blackout drunk, and then she
Yeah.
wouldn't even remember things the
Yeah.
next day. So it's like, okay, this isn't even real. This isn't
Yeah.
even real life. Whatever we're just saying.
It's like a weird dream. But
So-
not that we took out our anger, but she would say some fucking outlandish shit and we'd yell at her for it. So
no, yeah, it wasn't.
it wasn't like we were.
It
bullying
wasn't.
her.
We were making each other laugh with what we were saying to her, and what we were saying to her was incredibly disrespectful, and it was hilarious
Yeah, it was really funny.
because we didn't give a fuck about her. So
I can't believe that that he said that. Yeah.
so we were sitting on the porch, and Pam's like, yeah, like my dad's got cancer, and he's in rough shape, and he's probably not gonna make it that much longer, and I'm an alcoholic, and I'm a piece of shit, and none of my family likes me. And it's like, Pam, we already know all this shit. You already told us this 17 times.
Yeah, it was never like.
And,
she was always looking for the sympathy card, and we were like, I don't care anymore. Just
Yeah,
stop.
it didn't even work the first time, but
I felt bad at first, but that was when I first met her, maybe like 2 or 3 years before. But
yeah, exactly. It's like
Like
you
every
can't
day,
be
like-
this tragic for that long. Like this could have been fixed a long time ago. Like
yeah,
you could
go to
have
AA, get a
Yeah.
fucking real job.
Yeah.
like fucking
quit fucking sucking blood out of people.
yeah.
And so naturally, Paul is just we're just feeding into Pam and just just talking shit to her, and then Paul jumps in and says that he's gonna fuck her dad that has that's dying of cancer in his ass.
Yeah, that happened.
And he's just like screaming, I'm gonna fuck your dad. And that was a hit. That was probably one of the funniest. It was just so funny. And she's just like over the top, and Paul's just. It was just so fucking funny. What
Yeah.
the fucking shit that he said to her. It was just so.
It was fucking really
and on
funny.
paper, it sounds horrible, but it was. Trust me, it was
No, it
pretty
was
funny.
pretty fucking
It was very
hilarious.
funny. It wasn't
Yeah.
pretty funny. It was very funny.
Yeah, it was good. But all of that being said, that's it's the story of Pam.
Yeah, that's I hope she never comes back. I hope I never have to see her. And then just those last couple of days, it's you just wouldn't. We would just walk past her like she wasn't even there.
Yep. Yep.
That's just
was
how it ends. That's just how it ends when you're fucking
Yeah.
piece of shit like that. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah. I don't plan to see her again. Neither do
I really hope.
She said that I was in her will as well.
Really?
Yeah, she said that.
Fuck. Jesus Christ.
You know, I have Kyle in my will, and I was like, okay. She's like,
like,
yeah,
but
I'm
I
gonna
gotta-
put you in my will. And I'm like, oh,
I gotta suck your cock though. You gotta let there's like a stipulation
let me in.
on the paper. You gotta
give you AIDS.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, all right. I mean, that's probably the end of that.
Yeah. This is.
ordeal.
Yeah. I don't think it's AIDS, right?
I don't think it's AIDS.
Okay. Perfect. That's a great title.
Yep.